pizza night. It's the ultimate comfort food, right? And every big chain makes us the same promise. You're getting real cheese, fresh dough, authentic sauce, the whole deal. But what if that promise is, well, just a lie? What if what's really inside that box is more science lab than kitchen?
Yeah, this quote really hits home because we're way past just getting a soggy or burnt pizza every once in a while. We're talking about a huge industry-wide problem. We're seeing recalls, hygiene scores that are just plummeting. It really makes you wonder what these companies are putting in their food and, more importantly, what we're actually swallowing. So the big question is, what are these mega chains trying to hide? Behind all those slick commercials and cheesy ads, there's a truth they're really hoping you're too busy or too hungry to ever look for.
It all boils down to this. The great pizza promise has been completely shattered. The industry has shifted. It's no longer about making a great pizza. It's about making a cheap pizza. It's all about quantity over quality. And that focus on cost cutting means that original promise, it's just broken. Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty. These are the industry's dirty little secrets. To save a few pennies, your pepperoni might be bulked up with synthetic fillers. That 100% real cheese? It's often a processed blend held together with cellulose, which, and I'm not kidding, is basically a fancy word for wood pulp. The dough is made to last forever on a shelf, not to taste good. And the real kicker? All this is happening while they're shrinking the portions and jacking up the prices.
All right, now it's time to name names. We're diving deep into 4 of the biggest chains out there that are, frankly, letting their customers down in a major way. And fair warning, one of these might be your favorite go-to spot, but you might want to reconsider after you hear this. First on our list is a real fallen giant, Pizza Hut. You see that red roof and you think of family dinners, those classic red cups. It was an institution. But today, that same symbol often points to a pretty shocking collapse in both quality and, more worryingly, safety. And this isn't just a hunch. We're talking documented, official failures. That number you see, an average cleanliness grade of less than 75 across multiple states. Now, in a lot of places, anything below 75 is a failing grade. We're not talking about one store having an off day. This points to a real pattern of neglect. And when you actually dig into those health reports, it gets even worse. I mean, we're talking documented rodent activity in some locations, stores getting written up for using expired sauce, and it all starts with that frozen, preservative-packed dough shipped from who knows where. A former employee even blew the whistle on the famous pan pizza, saying it's basically just deep-fried in a pool of its own grease. Oh, and all the while, they're secretly shrinking the size of your pizza. Classic shrinkflation. When a health inspector uses the word pattern, you need to pay attention. That's code for this is not an accident. It means the problem is systemic. This isn't just a couple of rogue stores. It's a sign that the entire corporate standard has failed. All right, next up is Papa John's. You know the slogan, right? Better ingredients, better pizza. Well, lately, customers and critics are saying it's anything but. The brand just seems completely lost, caught in this downward spiral of, well, zero consistency. And people are definitely noticing. Just look at these numbers from early 2025. When you stack them up against all the other major chains, Papa John's is scraping the bottom of the barrel in customer satisfaction. I mean, only 15%? That's not just bad, that's a full-blown crisis for a brand. The complaints are all over the place. You've got people getting pizzas that are somehow both raw in the middle and burnt on the edges. The sauce has gotten so ridiculously sweet, people are comparing it to donut glaze. And that iconic garlic butter? A former employee said it would just sit out for hours, becoming this goopy mess that looked like melted candle wax. Yikes. But maybe the biggest nail in the coffin comes from the founder himself. After he publicly claimed to have eaten 40 pizzas in 30 days, he came out and said the quality just isn't there anymore. Look, if the guy whose name is on the box says it's gone downhill, what hope is there for the rest of us? Okay, let's talk about Domino's. They are the kings of speed and tech. The 30-minute promise, that little pizza tracker on your screen. You can even order with an AI now. They've built an absolute empire on getting pizza to you fast. But here's the problem. In that mad dash against the clock, it really feels like they forgot about, the food. And this chart really tells the whole story. Speed? Off the charts. They're amazing at it. But look at flavor and freshness. Dead last. Consistently. Independent reviews all say the same thing. They'll get it to you fast, but you might not like what you get. So what exactly is in that box that arrives so fast? Well, customers describe the cheese as stretching like plastic wrap. The crust is bland, it's rubbery. A big part of the problem is their shift to globally sourced ingredients, which means different rules and less oversight. And that famous pizza tracker? Insiders admit it's more of a marketing gimmick than an actual real-time tool. On top of all that, prices are soaring. And this quote just nails it. The whole system, the whole Domino's machine, it's built for one thing: logistics. It's designed by tech guys and engineers, not by chefs. It's designed to move a product, not to make food. And you can taste the difference. And our fourth one, Little Caesars. Look, that hot and ready $5 pizza was a total game changer, no doubt. But here in 2025, that super cheap price tag, it's really just a cover for some of the most, let's just say, alarming shortcuts in the entire business. Let's start with what this deal is actually costing your health. A single slice of their pepperoni pizza can have over 1,000 milligrams of sodium. 1,000. That is nearly half of what an adult should have in an entire day. So the price on the box is low for sure, but the price your body pays is incredibly high. So how do they make it so cheap? Well, that hot and ready often means it's been sitting under a heat lamp for hours. The ingredients are straight from a factory playbook: mass-produced frozen dough, cheese blends bulked up with starches, and sauce that's just reconstituted from a concentrate. And in one absolutely horrifying incident, a store was shut down after inspectors found rodent droppings inside the dough cooler. And honestly, this quote from a former employee says everything you need to know. If you can use a microwave, you're overqualified. Think about that. It tells you everything about their training, their standards, and just how little they care about quality control. Okay, wow. So after hearing all of that, the disgusting hygiene reports, the synthetic mystery ingredients, the constant corporate shortcuts, it's easy to feel a little hopeless. Is there any big pizza chain left that you can actually trust? And that's a totally fair question to ask. I mean, is getting a good, honest pizza from a big chain even possible in 2025? Well, the good news is, yes, it is. But you have to know exactly where to look. Because in the middle of all this chaos, there are a couple of chains that are actually pushing back. They're going against the grain and betting everything on two simple ideas: quality and transparency. It really all comes down to two completely different ways of doing business. You have the failing model, which is all about hiding its frozen, processed junk in the back. And then you have the trustworthy model, which puts fresh ingredients and you, the customer, right in control. So our first safe alternative is Popper Murphy's, and their whole concept is built on one radically simple, brilliant idea. They don't cook your pizza. And by doing that one thing, they cleverly eliminate almost all the biggest risks we've been talking about. Their whole take and bake thing is just genius. Here's how it works. The dough is made fresh right there in the store, every day. They build your pizza with fresh ingredients right in front of your eyes. Then you just take that uncooked pizza home and bake it in your own oven. You control the final step, which means no risk of getting a cold, soggy, or undercooked pizza ever again. And this model literally forces them to be better. They don't have freezers or microwaves in their stores, so they have to use real, whole milk mozzarella cheese, and they have to chop their vegetables fresh every single day. The result? They have one of the lowest customer complaint rates in the entire industry. Why? Because you're not trusting your dinner to a stressed-out employee in a chaotic kitchen. Okay, our second great alternative is Blaze Pizza. Now, what these guys have done is pretty incredible. They've figured out how to give you that fast food speed, but with legitimate artisan-style quality. And their entire business is built on a foundation of what I'd call radical transparency. It's basically an operational rebellion. They've looked at the rest of the industry and said, no, fast does not have to mean frozen. Fast does not have to mean processed. They've actually proven you can make a genuinely high-quality pizza from scratch in under 3 minutes. And this isn't just marketing fluff. You can actually verify their commitment. Their dough is made fresh daily with unbleached flour and 0 preservatives. Their sauces are made in small batches, no industrial goop. This dedication is so real that they earned the highest rating from the National Clean Label Project. They literally have nothing to hide. So when it's all said and done, it really just comes down to a choice. You've got the corporate giants on one side, cutting every corner they can to make an extra buck. And on the other, you have these challengers who are actually prioritizing your health and the quality of their food. The difference couldn't be more clear. You know, for years, this industry has slowly been training us to accept less, to be okay with greasy boxes, shrinking pizzas, and weird synthetic ingredients. But knowing all this, that's power. Where you choose to spend your money is the most powerful vote you have for forcing these companies to change.
So next time it's pizza night, just pause for a second. Think about what's really inside that box. Are you going to reward a system that's built on shortcuts and deception, or are you going to choose a brand that actually respects the food and respects you? As always, the choice is yours.